I'm Michael Bussee. I'm one of the original co-founders of Exodus International. I left the program in 1979 and have since reconciled my spirituality and my sexuality. Now I'm a vocal critic of reparative therapy programs and of Exodus International. What eventually led me to stop trying to change?
Yeah.
There were a number of things that kind of converged, sort of the perfect storm that led me to decide to give up the effort to change. The first one was the realization that I really wasn't developing any heterosexual feelings even after years of marriage and years of being involved in the ministry. I knew deep down that I was still gay. I knew what my feelings and attractions were. And that experience of having to present yourself one way when you know deep down that you really are something else is a terribly destructive internal sort of struggle. I call it schizophrenogenic. It's crazy making. It absolutely splits you down the middle. And so there was the realization that I wasn't becoming heterosexual. At the same time, noticing that the guys in our ministry and that the other ex-gays I talked to were also not changing. Not only were they not changing, they were becoming worse. They were becoming more and more depressed, more and more self-loathing, self-destructive. And I saw that happening in my ministry. We had a Tuesday night Bible study, and boy, that initial excitement of the first 2 years when we all thought that we were changing, gradually giving way to depression and despondency and self-destructiveness was a terrible thing to watch. I had to keep up the strong front because I was the group leader. I had to encourage them to keep going, but I felt the same thing they were feeling. I wanted to say, me too, what are we doing to ourselves? Why are we hurting ourselves this way? Why don't we just quit? Why don't we just admit the facts that we're still gay? We're Christian and we're gay. Would that be so bad to admit? But we couldn't admit it because you're taught that you are one or the other. You are Christian or you're gay. You cannot be both. And if you choose to be gay, if you choose to give up the effort to change, you are giving up your faith. You're giving up your salvation. You are committing yourself to eternal damnation, basically.
Was celibacy ever a viable option?
Celibacy was never a viable option. Celibacy was never a viable option for me. I think the longest period of celibacy I had was about 3 months. And I'm including in that masturbation, the gay fantasy, things like that. I remember saying to myself, if I could just overcome that, if I could get to the point that I could not have gay fantasies, not masturbate to gay fantasies, that maybe that would be the breakthrough. If I could overcome that. I remember I went on a 40-day fast from food and sex just to see if that would break through whatever this demonic oppression was that was weighing heavily on me. Some guys in our group practiced celibacy and were able to keep that up for some time. One of the guys in our group eventually fell after a long period of celibacy and became very, very self-destructive. And I saw that in the group a lot too, that these periods of celibacy would be followed by a fall and then tremendous guilt. And some people pulled away from the ministry entirely. Some came back to the group over and over again trying to get delivered. But no, celibacy was never really an option for me. I've come to believe since that God created me with a fully functioning sexual system and sexual, that God created me a whole being, and that includes my sexuality, that sexuality is a gift from God, not something that that I'm personally supposed to be celibate from. I think maybe some guys are able to do that, and I've met guys who say that they're gay and they're Christian, but they just choose to be celibate because they believe that's what the Bible expects of them. And they say that they are content with that. I had to find integration with all of those things. I couldn't be non-sexual. that would be a disintegrating experience for me.